This is Martin Scorsese, and I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite Powell and Pressburger movies, The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. Michael Powell will be joining us shortly to tell about the making of the movie. But before he does, there are a couple of things I wanted to point out about his style and his approach to this particular film. Now, the first time I saw The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, actually, I was about 10 years old. I think it was in the it was about early 50s, 51, 52. And it was on television in New York on a local station, mid-afternoon. And it was a 90-minute version in black and white. And for some reason, I think I could articulate those reasons. I think because of the nature of the film, in that it encompasses 40 years of a man's life, the sense of history of the film, and the period detail of the film, I found that the picture stayed with me over the years. I'd only seen that one time. The other interesting element of the film was its style, and I think in style, let me point out later on, you'll see a sequence which has a montage of his hunting expedition in Africa. And it's, now you look at it and it seems like you've seen this sort of thing before, but from the film was made, I believe it was 1943, this sort of thing wasn't done, except maybe in, animated films. And I found the surprise of his way of telling a story seemed to stay with me, and for years we tried to track down a complete print of Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. I'd say we discovered the film over a period of 20 years rather than in one time. This sequence you're watching now, this entire sort of hectic, kind of hysterical opening sequence, is the sequence which eventually, in the American version, was placed at the end of the film. Because the picture is the story of a man's life over 40 years and it's told in flashback, what they did was they simplified the structure, cut most of the motivation out of the film, character motivation, and eventually what they did was put the beginning at the end and just laid it out in a straight line. Very similar to what they did to Sergio Leone's film Once Upon a Time in America a few years back, where he released a 4-hour version, or approximately 4-hour version, of a very intricate structure. And at the same time, they released a 2-hour version with a straightforward, beginning, middle, and an end.
What's the running idea? Total war, isn't it? What do you want?
Message from HQ. Where's the CO?
In the barn. Follow me.
The next time I saw Colonel Blimp, or an aspect of Colonel Blimp, I should say, was the American version, or a shortened version of the American version, less than 2 hours, probably on public television in New York. And I would say it, unfortunately, was an Eastman color print, and at that time the prints weren't very good, and the color had faded to the point where people were walking around in magenta clothes. So it seemed to have been a pale image of itself. But we were getting closer. At least some color prints had existed. I mean, some had existed long enough for them to have faded anyway. The problem was who owned the rights, where can you see a complete print, or was there such a thing as a complete print, and who was this Michael Powell, first of all? We wondered in the relationship between Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger, in that they both signed the films produced, written, and directed by, and shared the same card. Myself and my friends wondered, as we became film students and filmmakers, who did what? I mean, did Michael write? Did Emeric Pressburger direct? What did we do? Eventually, we found out by tracking down Michael Powell in London through a man named Michael Kaplan, who used to work for Stanley Kubrick. And so Michael Kaplan explained to us who Michael was, and he was involved with trying to get together a film of that Michael wanted to make called The Tempest, Shakespeare, with James Mason. And eventually we met Michael that way, and I was able to ask him these questions, of course. And we found out that, of course, Michael did the directing, Emeric Pressburger did the writing, and they both produced. But the sense of collaboration, the honesty of such a title in the motion picture business was really unheard of. in such a way, because after a while, when you work that close in a collaboration of that order, whether it's with a writer or an actor and that sort of thing, or an actress, you don't know where one begins and the other leaves off. And it's a very beautiful way of presenting it. In any event, it took a long time for us to finally see a complete version, at least a complete American version of Colonel Blimp. Eventually, they had a few on television in the mid-'70s, and we saw those. I remember when I was shooting New York, New York, in the middle of the night, I stayed up one night to see it. It was on at 3 o'clock in the morning in Los Angeles television, and watched it. It was a 2-hour version. It wasn't too bad. At least the color was fairly good. And as far as we knew, that was the complete version. We had read that there was some controversy about the film, in that it was cut up and restructured. But we didn't know how far and how much. Even by reading Ian Christie's book, The Monograph, in 1978, it was still difficult to contemplate what the complete film looked like. And eventually, in '78, in London, I was able to see the complete film for the first time. That gives you an idea of the genesis of how we discovered this film. Unlike the other Powell Pressburger films, The Red Shoes, for example, or Matter of Life and Death, which were shown regularly on American television. And, of course, The Red Shoes I saw in a theater first. And so those films, in a sense, didn't need discovery. Colonel Blimp became sort of a detective story to find out what was what, where, how, who did what.
Spur! What's the matter? Come on, so what happened? Spur! She got me.
Who?
Not to hurry. Come on, quick. Oh.
Any luck?
Not a hope. She's halfway to London by now. She's gone to warn the wizard. Come on, get my tin hat. Come on, after her.
The barricade's open, sir.
Good. Death. You know, sir, you ought to have one of these field dressings on that. Save it for her. She'll need it somewhere else when I catch up with her. See that barricade, my boys? Well, at midnight on the dot, it's got to be closed. And, of course, the enemy can't get through before. Because why? Because war starts at midnight! What's the objective, sir? Royal Bathers Club, Piccadilly. What about Mother Hurry? We'll beat it to it. I know a couple of short cuts after Marble Arch. There she is. Get the other trucks to close up. See if you can pass her. Blast that taxi. Steady. Keep right on his tail. Don't follow her, keep straight on. Second left. We've got her. Come on, section. Number 2. Yes, sir. Number 3. Yes, sir. You have your orders. Mr. Graves, Sergeant Hawkins. Sir.
Yes, sir.
General Wincandy in the club?
No, sir. The General left an hour ago with Brigadier General Caldecott and Air Vice Marshal Lloyd Hughes.
Did you say where he was going?
Excuse me, sir, but what is your business with the General?
I have a message.
It's interesting to notice this opening sequence with its conflict between the old and the young, in a sense, the young soldiers against the older men, more staid in their ways and more seemingly more traditional, because it's in contrast to the rest of the film, in that the film has a lot to do with manners and ritual and how people should fight a war. And I think that's one of the main themes of the film, which you'll see develop in the next sequences.
Brute force and ruddy ignorance.
Come on, up, trim, double up.
Prisoner! Who are you, Cargill? Wizard, guard this man. And answer that damn telephone, will you?
Yes, yes, miss. One General Wincan, he can't do that, miss. Sorry, miss, the General's a prisoner, and so are you. Oh, now the war's over.
And you, sir, are you the ringleader of this house?
Please! This is an army exercise. You're all prisoners. Now stay where you are. Dingus, come here. Where's General Wincandy?
Who, sir?
You heard.
In the steam room.
Come on, then, show me the way. Go on.
No, but...
This is it.
That's a double there. In the long shots, you'll see a double for Roger Livesey. In the close-up, of course, he's heavily made up. But in the long shot, they had to use a double. And I recall Robert De Niro and myself looking at this film, trying to figure out how to put the weight makeup on Bob in Raging Bull. Eventually, Bob just decided to grow it. So gained about 60 pounds on that. But he admired this makeup, especially the hair, the shaving of Roger Livesey's head right here, you see.
You've got all night, sir.
Attendant!
I'm afraid he can't come.
One of the wonderful things about the film is that the older gentlemen here want to fight the war.
He's a prisoner, sir.
With the Germans, want to fight the war by the book. And the younger men here, of course, say there is no such thing as the book.
War starts at midnight, haven't you been told?
Oh, yes, sir. That's why we're here.
But may I ask on what authority?
On the authority of these guns and these men, sir.
Authority? Authority? How dare you, sir? How dare you? Get out of here, sir, you and your gang of awful militia gangsters. Get out!
Popeye!
Sir.
Guard this man. Stuffy!
Sir.
Go to the cubicles. Find which is General Win Candy's. You'll find a brown pigskin case there. Bring it.
Yes, sir. But you can't do that. The code is in that case. The whole exercise will be a farce if you have that code.
Oh, no, sir. This is going to be the real thing, sir.
But war starts at midnight.
Oh, yes, you say war starts at midnight. How do you know the enemy says so, too?
And, of course, this exchange between the two of them, in which the younger soldier complains to Colonel Blimp here. And Colonel Blimp, I guess, tells him, you're a young man now, but basically, and when you're my age, we'll see exactly how you turn out. You'll turn out the same way. Really is the genesis of the film. An exchange like this was used by two actors in One of Our Aircraft is Missing, and the scene was cut out. Oh, David Lean, who edited One of Our Aircraft is Missing, he said this whole concept of the younger soldier turning into an old Colonel Blimp, in a sense, is worthy of a whole film in and of itself. And this is how the idea was born. A sequence like this is quite beautiful because of its approach to, I should say its non-approach to reality. And it's something that I think has gotten Powell and Pressburger films in trouble, in a sense, in their native country, and in that really the tradition of British filmmaking has always been hardcore realism. And here, look at this, the use of steam, the sense of the unreality of the whole piece, the dreamlike quality of the whole piece, which really this sequence leads into the flashback, which tells the story. And of course, here's the double again. And this sequence was completely out of the American version. You know, this sequence that you're going to watch now, which leads into the flashback.
I was fighting from the country when your father was still in bum afflictions. Ah, puppy, gangster. You laugh at my big belly, but you don't know how I got it. You laugh at my moustache, but you don't know why I grew it. How do you know what sort of a fella I was when I was as young as you were? 40 years ago. 40 years ago.
This is Michael Powell, seeing the life and death of Colonel Blimp again, after many years. It started on the film One of Our Aircraft is Missing. It was about a bomber crew that get lost over occupied Holland. There was a scene in it which we shot, and then we cut it out of the film. It was the old rear gunner in the bomber is talking to the very young pilot of the bomber. And he says, you know, John, you're just like I was when I was a youngster like you. And you'll be just like me when you're old and got a pot belly. Well, David Lean, who was editing, so about 2 weeks later, he came to me and said, I've been thinking about that scene we cut. why don't we make a whole film about the youngsters and the oldsters and show how there's good to be got out of the oldsters, just as the youngsters have got to win the war and the old ones have got to help them. And that's how Colonel Blimp started. Arthur Rank, he came to see us and said, Emeric said to me, you just listen, Michael. He's going to ask us to make one of our submarines is missing. Because that's how distributors think. If you make one of our aircraft is missing, they're bound to think, make another one just the same, only better or different. And I said, we're not going to do that. We're going to make a film about Colonel Blimp.
Yelling and screaming like some damned foreigner.
A blimp is a captive balloon in England. And we thought the old boy was rather like a captive balloon. Any old ex-soldier still in the War Office is more or less a captive balloon. And David Lowe, the cartoonist, had made Colonel Blimp one of his great figures. And he used to use him for whenever there was something outrageous to be said by the Conservatives. It was always put in the mouth of Colonel Blimp, by gad, sir. And usually he was shown in the Turkish bath with a towel tucked cozily or scantily. Depends how Lowe felt that morning. But David Lowe used him a great deal, and Colonel Blimp became a kind of symbol of the English establishment, which was great because when we made the film and called him Colonel Blimp, then we tangled with the English establishment, including Churchill. It was a misunderstanding, really. We worked with the Ministry of Information. This was our own idea at the beginning of the war. Alex Corder, had been making The Thief of Baghdad. I was one of the directors. And he had to go back to Hollywood to finish it when the war came out. But he had already promised Churchill that we'd make a propaganda film, The Lion Has Wings. And so I went over onto that and did all the flying sequences. You might say that one morning I was on the flying carpet with Sabu, and the next day I was with the RAF over the balloon barrage. But our relationships with the Ministry of Information from the beginning were very good, because the first film we made, which really was a propaganda film, but also an entertainment film, was 49th Parallel. It had all the stars in the world, and Emeric, Pressburger, my partner, got an Oscar for the original story. And it started the whole idea of the Ministry of Information Film Division. And that was a very good idea. It kept things on a straight line without people interfering, because we were a government department. Very unusual one, very irreverent one. One thing interesting about Colonel Blimp is because we were in the middle of the war, because we were our own bosses, because the only people we were answerable to, in our opinion, was the Ministry of Information. And when the War Office got shirty about the film, thought it was lampooning the new army, and Grigg, who was Secretary of State for War, got on to Churchill and said, Winnie, they're sending the army up, do something about it. And Churchill, not really knowing what was going on, just said, what about this film? I don't like the sound of it, stop it. Of course, you can't do that in a democracy. And so they came in a great fuss to me and said, what are you going to do? I said, nothing, we just go on making the film. And so it blew up into a first-class scandal. And of course, Churchill had he was embarrassing the Ministry of Information very much. He had no right to say that. no right to think he was the dictator of England. He was certainly the man who saved England.
Evening, my dear Watson. I really think you'll be more comfortable outside than in. Sarcastic devil, that fellow Holmes. I once had a CO just like him.
Very good actor, Roland Culver. One of our really first-class stage actors. I always admired him very much. He was in the first British film I wrote a script for. And I thought one day I'll work with that actor, but it took me 10 years to do it. I made a lot of B features. And finally I got him in One of Our Aircraft Is Missing. You see, this is a scene between two soldiers, and people who wouldn't know would naturally have them in uniform, particularly as Colonel Betteridge is chief of his department in the War Office, and the young VC. But of course they would always be dressed like a man about town, and except when they're on official duty. Their clothes were made in my pictures by some of the best tailors in London. The tailors love it if you go to them and say. I said to one wonderful cutter called Robinson, "Do you ever cut old-fashioned clothes for young people?" He said, "Oh, yes, sir." He said, "You know the young Lord Corkenoroy?" I said, "Yes, sir." He came in with another young man, said to me, "Robinson, you cut for my father, didn't you?" I said, "Yes, my lord." "You cut for my grandfather, too?" "Yes, my lord, I cut for your grandfather."
Yes, this
I said, "Well, now, Robinson, I want you to make me a complete wardrobe, the whole lot, including morning coat and evening dress and everything, just like you would have cut for my grandfather, the lot." So then he, Robinson, cut nearly, I think he did all Roger Livesey's clothes here, which covers a period of 40 years. In the Edwardian days and First World War days, the men's clothes were very important. Indicated style, that you're up to date, and also that you were somebody of importance.
Never mind what I said. Here you are, Box A, Her Majesty's Theatre, the last of the dandies. Introduce yourself to Lady Gilpin and Sybil. Say I've gone on some secret mission. Make me out the most mysterious romantic figure. Girl's pretty, mother's a gorgon.
Are you going on a secret mission?
Yes, to Berlin.
Did he send you?
No, it's a secret from him, too.
Morning, Preety. You send those flowers?
Yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Hopwell, there's a postcard for you, sir.
Ah, from Mr. Candy. So the old boy got that.
How is Mr. Candy, sir?
Read it, sir.
Deborah playing a governess here, it means she belongs to quite a good family, but not very rich, not, in fact, rather poor, probably. And she's a bit overdressed for the part, really. I got enthusiastic about her hats. You must say the hat is really something. And then the one she wears in the cafe later on, that is quite a hat. You could take it down there to any airfield and launch it into the air.
Can you possibly mean that you've come here solely on account of my letter?
Well, naturally.
She'd done 2 or 3 films. I saw her before she'd done anything and said she was pretty. I said, she's going to be a star, that girl. But I had no part to offer her except to walk on in Contraband, picture I made with Conrad Wright. And she was cut out of that. And Wendy Hiller was going to play this part. She was going to have a baby, so she couldn't play the part. And I had to find somebody in a hurry. And I happened to meet Deborah in the canteen. And we talked about the time she was in the film. And I learned she'd been working with Pascal on Major Barbara. And she'd been playing in some war propaganda picture. And while we were talking, I suddenly realized this is the right girl for the part. She's got the height, she's got the intelligence. Red is strong in the upper. Most actors, even the actresses, are not particularly intelligent. Deborah is particularly intelligent. And there she was.
German girls find scars very attractive. A book was recently published on the German colonies, in which it was specifically stated that one of the advantages of possessing dueling scars was that the natives of Africa look with more respect upon a white man who bears them than upon those who do not.
I feel like Stanley and Livingston.
Surely not both, Mr. Candy.
No, you're Miss Livingston, I'm the missionary.
Livingston was the missionary, Mr. Candy.
Oh, yes, of course, so he was. Well, about this cafe, can you take me there this evening?
Do you wish me to accompany you?
Of course.
Very well.
I mean, it's awfully nice of you. I should obviously be absolutely lost without you.
Then, Mr. Candy, you are Livingston, I presume.
This beer hall sequence is fascinating. Notice the use of red on the left of the frame and the use of blue on the right. Even to the extent of the band leader's jacket, it's red in the front and blue in the back. The doorman who comes in now in blue. Her dress. I always find it fascinating in the Powell Pressburger color films to look at where they're placing red in the frame, as you can see. This sequence, actually, for a long period of time, I became fascinated with a film called Tales of Hoffmann, Powell Pressburger film, which was really an operetta, all music. And I learned from that film, again here, look at the red, the use of red in the menus leading up to the band, pointing to the band in the background. These are things that I kind of enjoy. I don't say that as you're watching the film, you should be pointing out where the red is. I think you should just look at the movie and enjoy it, hopefully. And probably you shouldn't be even listening to this narration. You should be watching the film. But the thing is, the idea of Powell Pressburger films in the sense of camera movement choreographed to music. I learned a great deal about how camera moved and how the camera moved to music and how a film was cut with music in mind by watching Tales of Hoffmann. And as I went backwards, of course, you see them in the red shoes. But then this sequence in Colonel Blimp has a very, very clear example of this sort of thing, where actors move and where the camera moves in very simple ways, but it's completely choreographed to the music. I find this fascinating because it almost becomes like a mini ballet within a dramatic movie, but extremely subtle, so that over repeated viewings, if you're really interested, you can begin to analyze and delve into it and find out why you feel a certain way on this cut or that angle with this beat of the music. Now, this sequence is interesting in terms of the dialogue for me, also for the framing with the pastry tray in the middle, but it's interesting in terms of the discussion on manners, where she eventually says, no, maybe some bad manners would have avoided the war entirely. And I think, as you see, the next sequences develop, manners and ritual deal with the whole basis of the relationships of all the characters in this film, and, I think, the concept of the war itself.
Oh.
Apparently it's a matter for careful diplomacy. You can see what they mean.
Yes, of course.
I know nothing about politics. I rather stuck my head in where I wasn't wanted. And I could get into the most awful trouble.
Trouble, Mr. Candy?
Well, I'm a soldier. You know that, Miss Hunter?
I thought you were a soldier this morning, Mr. Candy. Or have you joined the army since lunch?
Riedmeister von Heumann, Riedmeister Hoffmann, meiner Kommilitonen.
I'd read up all about German Burschenschafts and student organizations, and how they were semi-military. Everything was semi-military in Germany in those days. The old Kaiser was pepping things up. He was building a new navy. He was thundering away at Europe. And so I'd been reading this for a long while in English novels and things like that, so I knew all the atmosphere together. We had the whole set to work on for about 2 days before we shot anything. Georges Perrinal, the great French cameraman, was shooting the picture. And he was delighted. We had a 2 whole days of rehearsal, everybody in full uniform. Not makeup, but all the costumes. For what David Niven would call a cloak-swishing department. There you are, there's Deborah's hat. That's a good hat. And must be about 2.5 feet across. I just had a Christmas card from Deborah. Now she's retired, or says she's retired. She's living in Spain.
Very little except good manners, if she herself has good manners.
Good manners are important.
Did you learn that in South Africa, Mr. Candy? My brothers told me that good manners cost us Megafonteins, Tornberg, and Colenso. 6,000 men killed and 20,000 wounded. And 2 years of war. When with a little common sense and bad manners, there would have been no war at all.
One thing I don't understand is why you should have to teach German children manners. I should have thought there were plenty of English kids.
I will tell you if you promise not to laugh at me.
Promise?
My only asset is a fluent command of English.
Here, here.
Obviously, to teach English in England is to carry coals to Newcastle and correspondingly ill-paid. I therefore decided to obtain a post in Germany, where my English would command a premium. And having learned German, to return to England, where my German...
Well, I'll be sugar.
Now, this is the sequence coming up in which I was talking about the relationship of music to the way the actors move. Look at the way he's moving in the frame, as it is, almost like a dancer.
That is he.
It's him, all right, the little skunk.
Well, shall we go?
Go? Oh, yes, I suppose so.
History will remember this as the great retreat from the Café Hohenzollern.
Just a second, please. Here we are. Can you get the orchestra to play 141?
Why, yes, of course, call the waiter. Herr Robert? Why, it's Mignon. I am Titania. Do you really like
Please, ask him. I'll explain later. Herr Robert!
Kann die Kapelle 141 spielen?
And here we begin. And this is, the effect is done through the cutting, camera placement, and movement. Movement of the camera and movement of the actors within the frame. But it's extremely subtle. It's just a matter at times of just a bow of the head.
Karnitz was a prisoner in our blockhouse for 7 weeks. This was the only record we had in our phonograph. I want to see if he remembers it.
Also, Karnitz, nun erzählen Sie mal.
Also, meine Herren.
Now, the nod of the head to the music and the turn.
Touched him on the raw, all right?
Ich bitte um Verzeihung, aber diese Musik kann ich nicht leiden.
Widerwärtiges Gefühl.
Herr Robert!
Now watch this. The cane with the flourish of the music.
Is it done to bribe the orchestra?
Not with money. Beer. Beer für das Orchester.
And the waiter walking up the stairs for the music. The wave.
Bitte, bitte, Herr Kapellmeister, hören Sie auf, das Mignon zu spielen. Warum das? Dort unter dem Tisch sitzen Herrschaften. Sie wünschen es dir zu hören, es gibt dir auf die Nerven.
Again, the waving of the hands.
Long run to Karnitz.
And it continues.
Also, Prost, meine Herren! Prost! Prost! Prost!
Reinforcements are coming.
Herr Kapellmeister, Bier für das Orchester.
Das ist großartig, was du sagst. Bier.
Und wovon kommt?
Von dem Tisch da drüben.
End. Now, Karnitz's movements on the next cut. The exit coming up. Here. See?
Coming up.
Let us go, Mr. Candy.
A bit late now.
I hope he doesn't see you.
I hope he does.
Again, the music up the stairs. And his reversal.
Hello, Johnny?
Moves like a ballet dancer, actually. This Carnitz.
Das ist ja eine schöne Überraschung, Herr Candy.
Come on, Garnett, you speak English?
I do. But I prefer German. Meine Damen und Herren!
Stop it.
In any event, that sequence for me, it took a period of time for me to understand why I enjoyed watching it over and over again. As I say, the bigger the screen, the better it is for me.
Get back to your table.
That's an old trick, the way I shot the, knocking him out. And you alter the angle just as he hits, and you falls away from the camera. Unfortunately, Roger didn't rehearse it quite well, and he actually hit him, and this chap had a glass jaw. He went out for about a minute. It gave Roger quite a fright.
Engländer! Bitte, meine Herren, kein Skandal! Bitte, meine Herren, nehmen Sie Ihre Plätze!
That was one scene we didn't take again.
Schweine in Ihrem Lokal!
Wir haben gar nichts gemacht.
Ihnen haben wir nichts zu tun, Fräulein. Manners?
Oh, ich spreche Englisch.
Roger is a splendid actor. Honesty just burns in his face. The Yorkshireman, descendant of Vikings, no doubt. It's a big family of actors, quite a number of Livesys, and the father and mother were both actors.
That skunk a friend of mine.
Herr Kaunitz is a member of der Altdeutsche Verband.
Then the Altdeutsche Verband ought to be ashamed of itself.
Sagt, der Altdeutsche Verband soll sich was schämen. Mein Herr, officers of the Imperial German Army are member of der Altdeutsche Verband.
Then the officers of the Imperial German Army ought to be ashamed of themselves too.
Meine Damen und Herren, er hat gesagt, die Offiziere der Armee seiner Majestät des Kaisers sollen sich was schämen.
I always find these scenes leading up to the duel fascinating because he takes his time. These two German officers representing the German army, they come in and talk about the matter with another lower-ranking English officer, English official. You don't go immediately to the duel in the tradition of the usual action film. And yet what you have here is, again, watching two men, how they enter the door. One asks the other to go in first, and he doesn't. And they both go in together, and you get a sense of the way the people behaved at the time. It's almost anthropological. And you see how these duels were set up. You see the amount of the depth to which these situations had meaning.
How can I help you, gentlemen? Won't you sit down? Thank you.
And it takes a little patience to get through these, and it's quite rewarding by the time the duel sequence comes up.
We wish some information about a competitor of yours in Berlin, certain Mr. Candy.
Clive Candy?
Yes, Clive Candy.
You've come to the right man. I know him well. We were at Harrow together.
Indeed.
Yes, we've lost touch a bit since the war, though. He's Army, you know.
He is an officer of the British Army.
Yes, he's just returned from South Africa.
Oh, this is excellent news. Ausgezeichneter Mann als Offizier.
Großartig.
You have relieved us from great doubts.
I don't quite understand.
We were worried that your friend might not be able to give satisfaction.
Satisfaction?
It is understood that an officer of the Imperial German Army cannot demand satisfaction from an opponent who is not his equal in position and honor. But since this Clive Candy is an officer, he can be challenged.
Challenged? To what?
To a duel, Mr. Fitzroy.
Duel?
Here, this little sequence has a kind of freshness of an animated film or Frank Tashlin film later on. This is one of Michael's strong points, I think, is his ability to block actors in this way, and evidently do it very quickly. the timing of people coming in and out of their rooms and panning to the left as they walk along. And now, the reaction.
Insulted the whole of the German army.
Oh, I didn't insult anybody, sir. I only said that if the army officers belong to the Deutsche Verband with Kaunitz...
Then the German army ought to be ashamed of itself, that's what you said. 82 Uhlan officers want to challenge you.
Yeah, Mr. Candy's told the whole story. By the way, Candy, that girl you mentioned, is she trustworthy?
Oh, undoubtedly, sir.
No. Colonel, surely it's not suggested that Mr. Candy should fight the whole officer corps?
They are drawing lots, sir, to decide who is to have the honor of fighting this gentleman who has not insulted anybody.
Yes, I agree. Have you any suggestions, Colonel?
Literally speaking, Mr. Candy has no option. He cannot fight a duel, he must run away.
Politically speaking, such an action would be disastrous. Now, Mr. Candy must fight.
Yes, but gentlemen, one moment. You know, surely you're leaving Mr. Candy out of your calculations.
I'll fight if necessary, sir.
Yes, my dear boy, I know that. Now, you better go to your hotel.
Yes.
Yes, and stay there. Oh, and could you get in touch with Miss...
Miss Hunter, sir? I believe I could.
Well, explain to her it's necessary to give the impression that your reasons for coming to Berlin were to see her. You're probably in love with her or something of the sort.
I say so, but I'm not.
Well, my dear Mr. Candy, you've caused enough trouble already. Do what I ask. Meanwhile, I and these gentlemen...
My partner was mad about research. He found the wonderful little book in the British Museum, which was the Code of Dueling in Germany. Student duel. And we used it for the big dueling scene in Blimp. All the protocol is correct, all the actual lines are correct.
Code of honor observed by all duelists. We thought you might not be...
There's nothing more rewarding if you've got the time and money to spend to do good research.
The gymnasium at the barracks of our regiment.
Not just for a historical picture, but for any picture.
We are now in the position to announce the name of our fellow officer who will fight Lieutenant Candy. Oberleutnant Theodor Kretschmer-Schuldorf.
May I make a note of that?
With the greatest of pleasure.
His card. Thank you.
Have you, gentlemen, any suggestions regarding choice of leader for the duel?
We suggest the military attaché to the Swedish legation.
Schon angemessen, Herr Rittmeister.
Ausgezeichnet. We agree. His name is?
Colonel Ball.
Colonel Ball.
Regarding sabers, we shall, of course, supply a number to choose from.
With your permission, we shall supply a number as well.
Most certainly, Colonel. The choice of sabers...
The tall fellow, he's not German. Valentine Dow is his name. Franklin Dow was his father, actor.
60 decagrams.
We shall make a note of it.
You will, of course...
This is Albert Lieven talking now. Beautiful manners.
The upper parts of the bodies of the combatants, or do you prefer them in shirts?
I think he was a count or a graf or something.
I see here that paragraph 100.
But he had ambitions to be an actor, but
Only the prince...
gave it up. Alfred Junger, the art director, was looked like a rock, a real piece of Berlin rock. But he had a great mischievous sense of humor. And we'd known each other for years, and he'd always thought I was just a run-of-the-mill action director. And I knew him for a great art director, and I was determined that one day he should work with me. And so when we came together on Colonel Blimp, big color picture like that in the middle of the war, because it was an absolute jam for him to work on a picture like this, in which he's the one who knows all the detail, knows all the people, knows the way they act. So he enjoyed every bit that I did, take off.
In the gymnasium of the barracks of the 2nd Uhlans.
That's what we call a match shot. Only the enormous area is built up to a height of about 15 feet, and all the rest is painted on. You paint it on glass, superimpose it over the actual stuff. That's all worked out beforehand. You have to do that, otherwise the actors will start walking through the glass. And so you pick your shots, and the art director makes a sketch, and you say, how about doing this or that? That might be just a little too easy to spot. Shoot it from another angle. once the set was over, the sketch was okay. You see this set obviously is about 15 feet high. You can see the back wall there. But of course, on the long shot, it looks more like 40 feet high.
Hello, who's this?
Colonel Borg, the Swedish military attaché. He's going to lead the combat. Colonel Borg, Mr. Candy.
I must, of course, use German expressions. I shall say los for starting and halt for stop. Can you memorize these two words?
I'll try, sir. Anyhow, at the beginning, I'll be pretty sure that you mean start, and during the combat, you're not likely to say start again.
That is true. Excuse me.
7 o'clock. Theo Kretschmar Schuldorf will forfeit his entrance fee if he isn't.
Don't you like the Wagner? There's an ad-lib by Roger.
Wish I'd brought my uniform.
That's an ad-lib. Because he couldn't possibly have foreseen that sort of... When he saw the way they come in, he ad-libbed that line and said, keep it in. That was what I wanted with these long walks across and then click at the heels, building up.
Seconds, please. Excuse me, please. Would you undo your shirt? Thank you. Right. Do you want to roll up your sleeve or will you rip it off?
What's better?
I am not permitted to give advice.
I think I'll rip it.
It is definitely better.
That's my favorite decision that he has to make. About whether he should rip it or roll it up.
Protective bandages.
Yeah, of course, the composition here, I mean, it's redundant to point it out. It's quite beautiful. Again, the preparation, ritual. Takes on a completely religious aspect with the window in the background.
The officer who's playing the Swedish military attaché, I think actually he's a Hungarian cavalry.
Now you alone will come with me.
A real cavalry man. He's got cavalry legs. Roger's very funny. He was determined to show them he could walk as fast as they could. It's quite deliberate that up till now you haven't seen Anton Walbrook. Now you see him.
Ich werde jetzt das
I
Protokoll.
didn't want to see him until the two look at each other. Anton had a gorgeous start.
Los beginnen. You will start only at the command Los. Sie müssen den Kampf auf das Kommando Halt unterbrechen, wer es auch immer gibt. You must stop the combat if you hear the command Halt, whoever may say it. Sobald Sie sich verwundet fühlen, haben Sie den Kampf sofort einzustellen und durch Zurückspringen die Distanz einzunehmen, auch wenn nicht Halt kommandiert wird.
German actor, more of an extra really than an actor. He really had a lovely part here, posing, uniforms, everything. He enjoyed every minute of it. You can see he's enjoying it.
Des Gegners mit der bloßen Hand zu ergreifen. It is forbidden to seize the weapon of the opponent with a bare hand. Sekundanten, bitte.
It's a nice little detail there. It's a good trick with the saber.
Feststellung einnehmen. Into fighting position, please.
Builds up very well. Classic sequence.
Fertig.
And now, of course, with all that preparation that he gives you. With his duel sequence, the only thing you can do is not show the duel. Just let the camera fly up into the ceiling, past, out into the snowstorm, and forget about it completely, because that's really not what's important. It's a sequence which always fascinated me. We had wanted so much to see that duel, and then we realized, of course, it's the natural place for the camera to go, up into the sky. And you realize this film is about something much more important. It's moves like that in the Powell Pressburger films, not only camera move, but structural moves, story moves of that kind, which are completely unexpected and which make you realize you're watching something quite special.
We ran into a technical difficulty there, that scene in the cab, the frost on the window. Alfred Younger, the art director, was always very proud of his special effects. And we caught him out on that one. Because whatever the mixture was they used on the window, they heated the lamps, because they used a lot of light in those days with Technicolor. Melted the stuff on the window.
I hope our chap doesn't get killed. It'll create an awful stink if he does.
Mr. Fitzroy, I think you are the most odious man I've ever met. And if anything does happen to him, I'll blow up your embassy.
I say. Are you a suffragette, Miss Hunt?
Never mind, but if anything does happen to Mr. Candy, I shall...
You mean Shuggy? I was talking about the German fella. Why, nothing could possibly ever happen to Shuggy. He won the fencing shield at school 2 years running. Do you know that man has the most...
Oh, look!
All these scenes, of course, in the nursing home and elsewhere in Berlin were all done in the studio in the middle of the war. One of the things the War Office said to me, I think it was Grieg himself, he said, "We put a ban on your film, and yet you came out with trucks and uniforms, guns, and what are they? Where did you get them, Powell?" I said, "We stole them, sir." He said, "What do you mean you stole them? How could you steal them?" I said, "Sir, you just don't understand a studio prop man. They'll get anything for you."
No. Now, Miss Hunter, you must be sensible. We're very fortunate that everything has gone off so well. You wouldn't want to spoil everything, would you?
Spoil everything?
The duel was generally supposed to be about you. What would people say if you left him now, wounded and alone in a nursing home? Naturally, I thought you understood all this. Otherwise, why have you come here?
Say goodbye to Mr. Candy.
Go in now, Miss Hunter. And don't bother about the bills. They have orders to send those to the embassy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
One of my favorite close-ups.
Well.
Those are all beautiful sets by Younger, led by George Perrinal. He was René Clair's cameraman. He came to England with René Clair. This is Jane Milligan. She's an English actress, and I suggested to her that she play the German English-speaking matron in this way. She made a big hit. But she complained that ever after this, up till then, she'd played leading ladies. Now she was always offered comic dialect parts.
Lucky man not to have glass splinters in the wound. Glass. It is a very common accident in our winter. The snow freeze on the boot, the warm room melt the ice, and the little piece of slippery ice lying...
But Emeric had written here quite a talky scene to explain what sort of lies they told the press, in order not to make an incident between Germany and England. And I thought it's too talky a scene, I better jazz it up a bit. And I thought of the matron being played this way.
Please do shout.
I like Deborah's hat, don't you? Straw hats are very becoming. They never really go out, do they, straw hats? Just needs a little bit of courage. I mean, even Barbara Streisand could wear a straw hat, couldn't she?
I have got you into an awful mess. Awful mess.
Roger Livesey was a very inventive actor and very professional. He never suggested something that he couldn't bring off. A scene like that, for instance, is very difficult to play and not turn it into caricature.
We want your wallet.
But when I suggested to him that we play the whole thing with "You Can't Say a Word," he was delighted.
Oh, your aunt. What's the address? Your aunt seems to like short letters. What shall I tell her, the truth? Excellent. Hunting accident. Do you know Oberleutnant Kretschmar Schuldorf is here? He has a very bad cut on his forehead. 8 stitches. Oh, he has 12 stitches.
Here is refreshment, Miss Hunter. Then you must depart for today.
When can he have visitors?
Wednesday is Visitors' Day, Miss Hunter.
Every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. a bell is rung for the end of visitors' hours. Okay.
Our problem here was to get 5 or 6 weeks go by painlessly without the audience noticing it. That's why we had all the comedy business, and then the visit by the German regiment and the visit by the English regiment. It was very difficult for us to do this scene, not for you might think of some special reason. The reason was we just didn't have any men. I very nearly resorted to dressing women up as guardsmen. Because by that time in the war, it was 1942, and every able-bodied man was in something or other. And to have a scene with guards, officers like this, just quite impossible.
Was können Sie bloß sein?
Keine Ahnung.
Engländer.
Oh, danke, danke, Fräulein.
I had thought that no one could smoke so much as a German officer. Now I see that a British officer can surpass him.
And not only in smoking, my dear Nurse Erna.
And in what else also?
Eating, drinking, making love, growing moustaches. Miss Hunter, I'm going to grow a moustache. What is your opinion?
I hope you like the way Deborah looks, particularly the way she moves, because I was very particular about corsets. You can't possibly play different women in different ages unless the foundation garments are right.
Miss Hunter, soldiers cause military incidents.
Yeah, I said to the art department, now somebody, preferably a sculptor or a painter, has got to be put on these costumes. We've got to change the shape of the woman. And the first time you see this young woman, she's all in real lace-up corsets. You can tell that by the way she moves. And then in the 1914 war, women threw away corsets and were fighting with the men. And so her body had to be actually much freer, but not as free as it was in the 1940 war. But they took it all very seriously, and you'd see our art department sketching ladies' corsets where that year they were going in, and that year they were going out. On a period picture, it's very important to ask those sort of questions or demand to have them solved. People rush around and they get really thinking instead of just doing it by rote.
Couple for you to play with after dinner. But you must not stay up after 10:30 at the very latest.
I promise you, Nurse Anna.
You do play?
Only whist.
Oh, it's simple. Let's have a trial game of double dummy.
I will bring a lamp.
You're a good pupil, Edith. That's £32,000 I owe you. Toss your double or quits.
This is the scene where she obviously would have fallen in love with him. if he'd ever thought of it.
Yes, it is.
But he's the kind of Englishman, the kind of Colonel Blimp, who always thinks about things just a little too late.
You are an angel, Nurse Anne. Oh, there are our guests. Would you let them in?
This is Ursula Jeans. She was married to Roger Livesey. Delightful comedian, lovely actress. They'd been married for some time, and they were one of the best things in the English theatre, Roger and his wife. He suggested that she play the Baroness, yeah. I was delighted that she did. She's got such style, isn't she? Like her furs, her hat. And she's got her own accent.
I promised Theo to make a little speech. He would like to have made it himself.
Very much.
Theo knows only 2 English expressions. Very much.
Anton Walbrook loved playing with her.
Theo?
Very much.
He would like to have come before.
Very much.
Only he was afraid.
Those are Roger's ideas.
What he said.
Miss Hunter speaks German.
He would always work on a part. Like he said, I've decided this morning, and Ursula's horrified, I'm going to shave my head, I'm going to be bald, and when I'm the real Colonel Blimp. I looked at him with this glorious red chestnut hair. He had great waves of it. I said, how can you bear to do it? Must do it for the part. Well, I said, what did Ursula say? Ursula nearly had a fit.
I would love a glass of sherry.
Would you like sherry?
Not very much.
Port?
Was nehmen Sie gewiss for that?
She and I, we drink Kirchwater.
Oh, Kirschwasser.
Yes, that's right, Kirchwater. Do you like it?
Very, very much.
Let me help you. Do you know Berlin, Mr. Candy?
The Hotel Kaiserhof, the British Embassy, the Café Hohenzollern, and the gymnasium of the barracks of the 2nd Uhlans.
I hope we shall be able to show you more than that.
Eine Zigarette, Oberleutnant?
Furchtbar nett, danke sehr.
Do you like the opera?
Lovely bit of flirting there.
Hunting or polo?
I adore hunting, and I love sport.
See, there's already a battle on between the 2 ladies.
Nein, ich habe keinerlei Talent für Sport.
Cut for partners.
He signed his own death warrant there, Blimp.
Ich hoffe, wir spielen jeden Abend.
What's he saying?
I hope we shall be able to play every night.
Emeric always thinks that Colonel Blimp and the love story in Colonel Blimp is the best thing he ever wrote. I think on the whole he's right. The way he works the love stories, so that it develops in a very short space of time, technically, you know. But a whole love story is developed there in just a few minutes by use of technique.
It means 40 packs of playing cards.
Oh, there.
Well, it's enough for the casino at Monte Carlo.
I know. I spoke to Miss Hunter about it. She says the evenings were so long there's nothing much to do at Stolpensee in the winter.
Very well.
Don't you ever do any work?
What? This. First time this year. Draw it mild.
Well, don't catch a cold. These nursing homes are an expensive business. Is Miss Hunter returning to England?
As far as I know.
Well, not at our expense, I hope.
Good heavens, no. She was going anyway.
Oh, so is Candy, for that matter.
I know. He had a return ticket. It's expired.
Very well. Buy him a new one.
Righto.
And get Candy to give you that old ticket of his. We'll claim a refund at Cook's.
Half a mo, those things belong to Theo. Put them with the alarm clock.
This is such a lovely love scene, because she really can't make up her mind. You can tell that. And he goes on being a blimp, going on wandering away. And she's thinking, why the hell didn't he take me in his arms and say, come with me? And of course, he's last thing he'd think of doing. So, oh, I like this girl. One day I might ask her to marry me. But when they finally make her his mind, he's lost her. There's a very great deal of detail and little byplay and natural, all sorts of things. They're both so good there.
I promised to take you out the first night we get back to London. Her Majesty's Theatre, the last of the dandies. They say it's an awfully good show.
Well, the paper said...
What paper? What do you mean? That's what's making you cry?
The paper said there was a play at Her Majesty's called Ulysses. Oberleutnant Kreshmar Schulthoff returns your books, Mr. Candy. He is on his way to see you.
You'd better. I'll meet you in the hall. Well, what am I to do with them? I don't read German. Miss Hunter got them for me.
You can present them to our library.
Clever, Nurse Erna. But I must write my name in them. So, Clive Candy's name will live forever in a corner at Stobensea.
May I come in?
Come in, me old horse, me old steeplechaser.
Wo ist Edith?
Packing.
Wieso packing?
That's all.
Bitte. Wieso packing?
Well, of course. And see? How much longer see?
Oh, ich eine week oder
2 weeks?
2 week. Ja. Clive, Edith, come here, translate.
I can translate.
Nein, danke, das ist viel zu wichtig.
Don't interrupt Edith. She'll never be ready.
Shall I fetch Miss Hunter?
Ich müssen call at embassy, old man. Get my ticket nach London.
Yeah.
I mean, the way Emeric works out this revelation that he's lost the girl.
What the blazes is up with everybody today?
See, he hasn't a clue. He's just about to be axed.
Und I, friends, yes or no?
Well, of course we're friends.
We must duel again.
Where's your dictionary, old man? You must have got 2 pages stuck together.
I love your... Wieso ich das Wort vergessen?
Beautiful actor. There's a lovely Viennese bit.
Say that again.
Anton's a typical Viennese.
I love your Miss Hunter.
You're cuckoo.
Oh, nein, ich nein, cuckoo. You cuckoo, because Miss Hunter loves me.
Congratulations. When did it happen? Why don't I know about it?
No duel?
Duel? Ich fight anyone who...
I've no comment to make about this scene. I think it's just a perfect scene.
Edith was never my fiancée.
2 men played together so well.
Not my fiancée. Lovely girl. Sweet girl.
And you really feel that there's the real friendships that can be between 2 men.
Come in! Ah, Nurse Erna. Come and have a drink. Where's the fiancée?
Does sie nicht kommen?
She won't come down. Then we go up. Come on, Tail.
Moment, die Flaschen.
There's sort of crisscrossive movements. So that's all done in rehearsal, of course. You can't work it out until you have to wait till you've got everything together. But there's a wonderful team, these 3 people.
Edith, my child, I feel like a proud father.
Do you, Clive? Why?
I have to give you away, don't I?
Who told you?
I told.
In fluent double German.
Das einzige Wort, das ich nicht finden konnte, war
Fiancé.
Fiancé, ja.
A toast. Here's to the happiness of my fiancé, who was never my fiancé. And here's to the man who tried to kill me before he was introduced to me. Prost. May I kiss the bride?
Why ask? I did not ask.
See, Roger's got her hat on.
Goodbye, Clive.
It's too late now. She's caught, he's caught. Heartbreaking, isn't it?
hope we'll meet again sometime.
I'm sure we shall.
Really heartbreaking.
Now, listen to me, you son of a gun. You won't
That theme that Alan Gray, the composer, used there is very important in the scene.
I leave to you, you Prussian,
Playing it down.
you this girl in trust. And if you don't take care of her, I'll raise the whole of England against you.
His name, professional name, was Alan Gray, but he was another Viennese. So everybody's heart was middle of the war. We're doing a scene like this. Everybody's heart was pretty full. Particularly in Denham Studios, which had been built just before the war, and mostly by Europeans.
I hope it's taught you a damn good lesson, Sandy. Yes, sir. The trouble with you young fellas is...
Back in the War Office here in London.
What's the result? You spend all your leave in a...
Roland Culver again. Beautiful actor.
Treasury, a lot of money.
The second character in the scene who reacts all the time is really based upon Dr. Watson. Sherlock Holmes did all the deduction and most of the action, but Watson was always there to catch him if he failed. So I invented this other character, Major somebody or other. And he's sort of chorus to the scene.
Aren't you? Not for 5 minutes. We're putting up a pretty good show. You go barging in on this nonsense, and you come very near to getting yourself kicked out. You don't want to get kicked out, do you?
No, sir.
Well, let me tell you one thing. Don't bother your head with things you don't understand and you won't go far wrong. Never go off at half-cock. Keep cool, keep your mouth shut, and avoid politicians like the plague. That's the way to get on in the army.
Thank you, sir.
Care to dine at my club tonight?
Sorry, sir, I'm taking someone to the theatre.
Pretty?
I haven't met her yet, sir.
Yeah, still a bit cracked, my boy. Well, I hope you improve as you get older. And cheer up, my boy.
Yes, sir.
This is a very elaborate scene, just for one line, really. But Emeric liked so much the idea that he takes her sister out. The first thing he does in London, takes out Deborah's sister, hoping that she'll be like Deborah. And so I looked up the theatrical record and found that Stephen Phillips was writing these absolutely awful semi-classical plays, but usually with rather good production and lots of costumes like this. So I thought we'll go to town on this.
Waves, I mean, let him be hurled from sea to sea and dashed about the world. Peace, children!
And I did a whole 3-minute sequence just to illustrate one line.
And to waft him overseas.
Just to show we didn't mind being really luxurious. It's nice, isn't it? Ulysses reacting.
There he touched at last his native shore. Ulysses must abide.
And the idea of bringing back Hoppy.
Where's the bar?
Darling, do control yourself.
Breathing, pace amid the breathless dead, the track of terror and the slope of doom. I say there's a...
She's just right, isn't it?
Well, remember, sir, she snares the spell.
Shuggy.
But his deep
Shuggy.
for home is hungering still.
Shuggy.
It was quite a simple thing to do as long as the costumes were... When the film first came over to America, that's the first thing they got out of. They dropped it. An elaborate joke of that kind, running 3.5 minutes. It was almost indecent.
My niece is governess, Miss Hunter.
Wonders will never cease. Sybil Gilpin out without her mother, and with Hoppy, too.
Oh, didn't you know, Mr. Candy? They are married.
Hoppy and Sybil?
Over a month ago. The family were quite taken by surprise.
Such a clever way of doing it, isn't it? To show how he's completely lost, drowning.
Matchmaker. Hello, Pebble.
Master Clive. Your aunt is asleep.
All right, don't disturb her. I didn't feel like going to the club this evening.
You're not sick, Master Clive.
No. I say, Pebble, how did you feel when you buried Mr. Pebble?
It wasn't so bad at the time, Master Clive. There was so much to do. It was after that it got bad, if you understand me. I hope you haven't come from a bury-in, sir.
No, from the theatre. But it was the same thing in a way.
Was it a sad play?
On the contrary, it was a musical play. Is the bed in the den made up?
No, sir. But it won't take a minute if you don't mind sleeping in blankets. There isn't time to wear the sheets. Lady Margaret has made some changes.
What is going on down there?
Am I staying?
I suppose so, since there's no man here to throw you out.
I say, don't put up my South African heads.
I don't know.
They don't look half so bad, do they?
No. Pebble, stop fussing like an old hen and go to your bed.
This is a beautiful actress, Muriel Akid. I've seen her in a couple of Dostoevsky plays, Crime and Punishment.
You're on.
Debts?
No.
A woman.
She's a real old stormtrooper of an actress.
For the girl.
And why, pray, is she? Not exactly.
Wonderful diction.
Perhaps. See anyone there you knew?
I met Hoppy and Sybil Gilpin. They're married.
Oh, why not? A very suitable match. He has money and she has land, and neither of them has any brains. You surely weren't in love with her.
With Sybil? Oh, no.
I'm glad of that. She has the muscles of a prize fighter. She'll hit Hoppy one day.
Hoppy could give her a couple of stone.
Oh, she'll soon make that up, I assure you. Who is this girl you took to the theatre tonight?
A Miss Hunter. I met her sister in Berlin.
Is she nice?
Very. I mean the sister.
Which sister?
The one that stayed in Berlin.
Then the one in London is not so nice, I take it.
No.
I see. Now, listen, Clive. I have 18 rooms here, a bone-idle staff eating their heads off, and when you come home from South Africa, you go straight to your club.
I know, it's awful.
I want you to remember that whatever you do and wherever you are, you've always got a home here. And whatever you shoot, there's always room for them here, too. Look how much room there is.
Here's the sequence that I remember as a child. The technique which surprised me here. Shadow on the wall. Very theatrical. Music building. And his hunting trip. It kind of saves a lot of money, and not having to go to Africa, or not having to build Africa on the soundstage, and it gets across the point. Not a very pleasant point, but it gets it across.
I never got the sequence quite right with the animal heads. It could have been wittier, I think. It gets over, doesn't it? But, a bit ponderous. Could have been much more witty. Max Offals would have done better. Stage 4 at Denham. The whole thing. And a tremendous amount of work in it. They brought in earth, they brought in automobiles, cannon.
Question is whether that's the church with the double tower or the...
That shop with the river is a model.
Damn it, Murdoch, you're supposed to know the road.
John Laurie was in a lot of my films. The first really important film I made, The Edge of the World, he played the main part in it.
Hark away, then.
Hark away, sir.
He's a Scotsman from Dumfries, on the borders of Scotland and England. Beautiful actor, but defiantly Scottish. Hitchcock liked him very much. He played a very dramatic part of the crofter in the 39 Steps. That's the man. This wonderful face, you know, mobile, but could set like granite. Although my father was in this war, 1940 war, I don't think I ever quite got the atmosphere right. Probably bringing the Boer, you know, the man who had been a Boer in the Boer War before, probably bringing him in was just a little bit too rich an idea. Because I had to go out of my way a bit to establish that he wasn't exactly English. He was one of the people who had been England's enemy. Now were fighting for England. It's too much, I think, to get over in one sequence, one film.
What are these prisoners?
Uhlans, 2nd Regiment. That's all I've got out of them so far.
I'd like to question them.
Certainly, sir. Betty.
2nd Regiment of Uhlans.
Sir? Bring in the prisoners and tell the orderly to light the lamp.
Any officer with them?
I can't. Not so lucky.
Where'd you nab them?
Floating down the river early this morning. I had a boom across and netted them like salmon.
They had 100 pounds of dynamite with them. My guess is they were after the new pontoon bridge below Saint-Magie.
How the devil did...
That actor, Reginald Tate, was quite a well-known West End actor. But he wasn't a Boer, he wasn't Dutch, and he wasn't South African. But he said he'd have a shot at it because he'd been in South Africa quite a bit.
Nobody starts to fight foul till he sees he can't win any other way.
The business of the aging process begins here. The aging process on the outside and the inside, which I find fascinating. And you could see here Livesey in the close-ups that just preceded this. There isn't that much makeup on him. It's just a little heavier maybe and a little bit of a gray. And they also, as you can see, have started playing around with the receding hairline and the makeup.
Get that off to brigade in the morning.
Certainly, sir.
Do any of you know Oberst Kretschmer-Schuldorf? Don't play deaf. He was an Oberst in your regiment the last time I heard of him. Oberst Kretschmer-Schuldorf, 2nd Regiment of Uhlans. Which of you can speak English?
Hey, you spoke English an hour ago. Answer the brigadier.
I do speak. Ah. Now listen to me. We don't use the same methods that I hear you use on your prisoners, but I assure you we have means to find out what we want. What was this explosive found on you intended for?
I don't know.
Don't lie.
I do not know.
You took 3 of our men prisoners 2 days ago.
No.
Then how did you know about the bridge?
I know nothing about a bridge.
Then why were you carrying dynamite?
Quite safe to go now, sir. Your car's waiting.
Won't you stay for dinner, sir?
What have you got?
Macaroni. We found it in the cellar.
Beastly stuff.
And the usual corned horse.
Oh, I think I'll take my chance at Dupuy. Pity I've got to go. I'd like another shot at those prisoners.
Oh, I think I've got the idea, sir. I'll tackle him for you.
Right. Make your report to brigade.
Very good, sir.
That's a painted match. Quite a good one. It's a good idea using the river. The line of the trick shot is along the bank of the river.
I am in command here now, and I know how to deal with you, scum. I'm not a simple English gentleman.
The whole image here, the concept of the way this film is made, the sense of the use of sets by Jung and the lighting is the height of the British studio system. It's the height of it. It's the kind of look at this close-up and the lighting on this. It's extraordinary. Very different, I think, from the American lighting. I always found the British use of Technicolor better, for some reason. A lot of people can tell the difference, the people who are interested, that is, could tell the difference between British Technicolor films and American Technicolor films, and a lot of it had to do with the difference in the chemicals that the British used in the bath for the developing of the film, for the printing of the film. Chemicals, the water, difference in all those elements produced a different quality to the picture. Very much so like you would see the British films in the early 50s and mid-50s that were shot in color, that I would be able to tell a British film just from an exterior shot because of the lighting. The sky is always overcast. I didn't know at the time. I could tell it was a British film. I didn't know why. But eventually you could tell that most of the exterior shots, the sky is always overcast, and it gives a certain reflective light feeling to it, and a very soft light feeling to it, which a lot of people use today now, and by building scrims and bouncing the light off the scrims, and that's lighting the whole scene that way. And I don't know how much of that is lost on these new prints that are made. I do know this, that what you're looking at in this video disc is probably the best that you can get at this point, and it's still good to me. As I say, not as great as the old imbibition Technicolor print. I believe there's only one nitrate print left, and I saw that in England, that the BFI has it, British Film Institute has it. It's kind of splicey, kind of beaten up. I'm just glad that with this new print stock from Kodak 5384, since 1982, all the films that are printed on that, the color will last anywhere from 88 years to 100 years. So we're not dealing with that problem any longer. That began in 1950, 51, 52, and went up to 82, where print stocks, prints would fade after 9 years.
My train. There's not a train or a track or a locomotive to pull one, sir.
In this war, I've seen ammunition dumps without ammunition, field kitchens with no cooks, motor cars with no petrol to run them on. So I suppose I shouldn't be surprised to find a railway transport officer without trains. But let me tell you this, young man, that in the Boer War or in Somaliland, this sort of inefficiency wouldn't have been tolerated for a second. Not for a second. Now, where can I get some grub?
Crown of Thorns is good for a handout at almost any hour.
What is it, a pub?
Pub, sir? I don't get you.
They were actual American actors who were in the army, lent to us by the army. They didn't mind any of it. There were quite a lot of authentic Americans in A Matter of Life and Death, which you, of course, stairway to heaven.
Armstrong, I want you to take the general here over to the Crown of Thorns.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, General. I sure will do that. It's kind of damp on foot, but I'll get you there, General.
I'm bored, sir. You're off.
Poor show I couldn't get a train tonight. Wasted 24 hours of my leave.
You can step on it, Armstrong. The general's in a hurry.
I sure will do that.
Well, goodbye, General.
What were those other wars he was talking about, Captain? The Boer War and the Somme something. I never heard of them.
Those weren't wars. Those were just summer maneuvers.
There's a very nice little performance in this by Yvonne Andre, who plays the dresser of Moira Shearer in The Red Shoes. Remember how good she is in the final scene? She keeps on coming on and saying, Il est moi cinq. Beautiful little actress. This is she. I first worked with her on this sequence. I was very impressed by her. French. She was working as an interpreter.
Que désirez-vous, mon général?
Merci, madame. Les Américains.
See, we usually play all scenes like this in the original language. People like to hear bits of language, and they either understand it at once, or they understand the general idea, and they're flattered. You have to flatter audiences. They're usually much, not cleverer, but more with it than you are.
Bonsoir, madame.
Good evening, General.
Ah, matron, for heaven's sake, tell your girls to sit down.
Sit down, nurses, sit down. D'abord, il faut lui enlever toutes ces choses mouillées. And your coat. Oh, General, you have fallen on your feet.
I was beginning to think so.
I have 62 freshly trained nurses straight from England and all dying to nurse someone. Now, what's the trouble?
I think we found an authentic photograph of a convent like this, full of English nurses. Because I had the bound volumes of the War Illustrated and the Bystander of the 14 War. And Emeric was always looking to get ideas. And I think he saw something like this and suggested we play it in a convent. So it's all a set, of course. Of course, it is tremendously moving to give it a big production like that for just one close-up. You know, that's part of the trick. If you tried to do it on the cheap, it wouldn't work. But the whole big sequence is in order that he shall see for a moment this wonderful face that he loved, and then lose it.
No, General, have you? It must be an incredible sight.
Yes, but I've never heard of anybody who's seen it unless he heard he was going to see it first.
I beg your pardon, I don't quite understand.
You hear about a thing, you hope to see it, and then you'll see it.
That's a typical Emeric Pressburger line, talking about the Indian rope trick.
You're at the station. Come along, nurses, bed everyone, bed everybody, come along.
Come on, Win.
I thought I'd overdone it here, but it worked out all right.
Où est le maître?
Qui? La matrone?
Oui, le maître.
Vous désirez lui parler encore?
Oui, parlez, quick.
Restez, je m'en vais la chercher.
Nurse, do you know the name of the girl sitting at the end of that table?
It's so cunning the way Emeric, in writing the sequence, establishes that. It just gets it in time, so you're carrying it in your head.
Excuse me, General.
Where do you come from tonight? What detachment are you?
Yorkshire. West Riding.
The question about coming from Yorkshire, if he's ever going to see her again.
How long now?
Alfred's setting here of the devastated France is really wonderful. It took about a month to prepare, and it took about 2 weeks to clear it away. Barbed wire, clay, earth, automobiles, cannon.
Because the Major had got valuable information from the Jerrys, the prisoners, sir.
Georges Perrenal is still, I think, the greatest of all cameramen, because when he shot all those black and white films for René Clair, and I think he may even go back to Paris Quito, you know, but he certainly worked with him on silent films, and then all the talk. I think he came to England with him when he came to do the film with Robert Donat, but he was a wonderful black and white cameraman, and equally wonderful color. We were shooting on Technicolor stock, and we saw all the rushes in black and white. There was no color available. And of course, a very colorful film. Perrenal didn't mind. He was a Frenchman anyway. His mournful, intelligent face. He didn't care about seeing the rushes. He just wanted to see the scenic strips. They're test strips that you make to get the color right. Not because he's a great cameraman, because he's a great artist. I must say the cameraman I first worked with, Rex Ingram's Johnny Sights, was a very similar sort of cameraman. He was wonderful. He understood big theatrical lighting, and he also understood how you can use very economical.
Anything wrong, sir? Murdoch, the war is over.
That's it, sir.
The Germans have accepted the terms of the armistice. Hostilities cease at 10 o'clock. It's nearly that now. Murdoch, do you know what this means?
I do, sir. Peace. I can go home. Everybody can go home.
For me, Murdoch, it means more than that. It means that right is might, after all. The Germans have shelled hospitals, bombed open towns, sunk neutral ships, used poison gas, and we won. Clean fighting, honest soldiering have won. God bless you, Murdoch.
Sir.
That valiant little bird. We sent a unit up to Leeds, especially to photograph the looms with the color and they had to set up a whole series of looms specially because they weren't doing any color. It was all khaki. And the same unit shot this little sequence. That's a famous house in Derby. And those are my two Cocker Spaniels, Emeric and Spangle. Nice shots, aren't they?
Miss Barbara! Lunch is ready!
This is an actual back projection shot, and one of the first ones really successfully in color. Yeah, the best cameraman in the world, but he didn't like the idea of projecting color through the screen in a love scene. He was afraid it would look too, well, like what it was, a trick scene. But I think he managed nearly to get it right. The screen's only a foot or two behind the actors. Everybody's sort of all around them in a sort of bee's nest. And the two lovers in the middle. None of us thought it would really work out. Of course, later on, back projection in color was quite a common thing. But I think that's almost the first time it was done.
I'm marrying you because I want to join the army and see the world. I'm marrying you because I love watching you play polo. I'm marrying you for 50 different reasons, and they all mean that's how I imagine my future husband.
Same here. That's how I imagine my future wife.
Oh, the gong's the final appeal. Darling, we must go. We've got the bishop for lunch.
I hope he's tender.
And now...
Felix Elmer has been a famous... He's one of the most popular, unpopular actors in the business. He goes right back to the Oscar Wilde plays.
And so I am glad to have met you for the first time, as I did, sir, on a simple...
I thought they were typical industrials, the father and mother. Did very well, obviously, during the war. Did a great job of organizing things. But incidentally, obviously, made a lot of money.
In the 4-year struggle, I said to myself, there is a man whose heart is in the right place.
One wonderful thing, as we slowly discovered the picture over 20 years, was that we began to realize that Deborah Kerr plays all the parts, all the female parts in the picture. It's the same person. There's something about it that carries the resonance of the picture, and the real resonance of the film for me is the fact that the film is highly an emotional film, a very romantic film, which is something that you don't usually associate with the British cinema. Usually in the older films or in the old, it dealt with some sort of convention where the same actress or actor would play his father and the son, or the mother and daughter, or the grandmother and daughter. In this case, this same actress plays 3 different people, but in his heart, it's the same person.
How can I find a nurse in Yorkshire? You understand who I'm driving at, I suppose, what I mean.
I understand exactly what you mean, darling.
Isn't she fine? She always gets the right note. That's location. You know where Harrods is? In Kensington. It's a square just off the main street there.
That window is the den.
Wrong.
At that time it was probably closed because there had been enemy action. As far as possible, in Technicolor in those days, we tried to shoot, if you're on exterior, the real thing. See, this is all shot on location.
Let this whole house be our den where we can always crawl, whether we return with rich spoils or badly mauled from our rovings, or just to change our spots.
Aunt Margaret would have loved you for that.
It's a fine, solid-looking property, like you.
Clive, you won't change, will you? And don't ever leave this house.
No fear. Even if there's a second flood, this house shall always stand on its solid foundations. And we'll have a private lake in the basement.
That's a promise. You stay just as you are till the floods come.
Till the floods come.
And this is a lake.
And this is a lake.
Her tweeds are very typical. The English ruling class at that time. And that hat, pouring, I think it's called a tammy. I'm afraid it is. I love women's fashions. They tell you so much.
We'll have some fun with this.
All the tradespeople have called, ma'am, and they'll be calling again for your orders.
That's all right, Murdoch. Not staying this time. Off tonight.
My spaniel spoils the first take here by going to the top of the stairs and spending a penny there, lifting his leg here. I explained the scene to him, and he didn't do it the second time.
We're used to it. I told the porter the general wouldn't be using the club so much in future, ma'am.
Oh, and what did he say? Well, go on, Murdoch. I can bear it.
Yes, ma'am. He said, they all say that at first, ma'am.
That's an old gag there, but Emeric sold it very well.
Oh, they found him?
Yes.
Don't you like the bear? Great fun. I said it doesn't look bizarre enough. We ought to have something when there was no bear. And the art department came in with this stuffed bear. I thought, Christ, that's almost too much. This is interesting here because you see about 250 Germans standing about, sitting about, lying on the grass, listening to the concert. And at least 200 of the 250 are plaster figures. Because I couldn't get enough men. You see, there were no men at this period in the war. And those that I had, probably one leg. And that. So it looks like a big crowd. But if you look closely, you'll see that most of them are. I had 3 different poses, sitting on the ground, standing up. And then they made about 50 of each and dressed them up in German uniforms and stuck them around. And then the live extras sat down with them. We got away with it beautifully. Now I've told everybody, they'll all say, we didn't get away with it.
No answer.
See, it looks like a big crowd. And, the number of extras was about 46, I think.
No answer. What else?
Nothing, sir.
He refused to come?
There, that's the hat that I adored. That's a real 1918 hat.
Why is very much printed like that?
It was a joke we had.
Harry Welchman.
Listening to the band, sir.
He was a famous actor in his day, a real romantic musical comedy actor. And his great part was the baritone leader of the bandits in The Maid of the Mountains. How's that?
Beautiful poetry. All of a sudden they start.
Deborah is really wonderful. Imagine she's 21 when this film was made, and she never put a foot wrong.
Killing little children.
And she knew things in the part that she couldn't possibly have known as a girl. When you spoke to her, when they call it taking direction, I would think it's rather insulting to the actor. When you collaborate with an actress like that, it's extraordinary. You see her absorbing what you're telling her, and her face changes, her expression changes. Something that she hadn't thought of, perhaps, or was thinking how to do what you suggest. Because with an actress like that, you don't tell her what to do, you suggest. And she was 21 and I was 16 years older, and I used to watch her and wait to see this extraordinary reaction to an idea coming in her eyes.
Dass mir es mit der Zeit auf die Nerven fällt, bevor die mir wieder zu Hause ist. Ich hab schon das gehört. Weißt du, in Deutschland noch Charts die Jahre zurück.
Oberst, stretch my shoulder.
Over there.
3 Jahre eingesperrt.
Theo.
Anton's timing is impeccable, isn't it? Wonderful thing about him, even in a part like he played in The Red Shoes as Lermontov, he never a show-off, ever. He works from the heart. The whole shape of the film, the way it's planned now to cover the 3 generations and the 3 different women, that's entirely Emeric's. And he developed it. By this time, Emeric and I had really perfected a kind of psychic shorthand. Usually when we worked, we would discuss the subject up to a point, and then Emeric would say, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, Emeric would say, well, are you ready? And I'd say, yes, I guess so. Are you? All the ideas came quite easily. The idea of taking him to Germany to make a friend of a German, the way it arose through a quixotic, typically British, muddle-headed idea. This is all Emeric's thinking. And I don't remember that I had very important ideas, except purely on staging. It was understood between us that Emeric would write what he wanted to be said, and I would write what the actors finally did say. And if I had ideas to add, I added them. Then it went back to Emeric, and if he liked the new ideas, he wouldn't say anything, he'd just take them into the script. If he didn't like them, he'd ring up and say, I want to discuss this. This is the perfect way the collaboration worked.
Good luck to you. Major Davis.
I supplied all the language, the color and the sound of the language, but Emeric nearly always was responsible for the shape of the scene. And that's why he always thinks that Colonel Blimp was really his best picture. He loved one or two others like Stairway to Heaven, but really the one he loved most was Colonel Blimp. But of course Colonel Blimp is a major work and extraordinary in the middle of a great war like this. But we thought we might as well be hanged. What's the saying? For a sheep as for a lamb.
Yes, he is, isn't he? Oh, I almost wish we had no children.
What?
What future can children have in a beaten country?
Oh, you Germans, you're all a bit crazy. You wait till you meet Barbara. She'll tell you what's what.
Who's Barbara?
My wife. Oh, of course you don't know I'm married.
I mean, this is really ingenious, the way Emeric has established her in the first part and arranged that she should be away now. So you haven't seen her for some time, and then you suddenly realize, well, I won't anticipate.
Gentlemen, this is my friend, Oberst Kretschmar Schuldorf. Sir Archibald Blair, shining light of the Foreign Office.
How do you do,
General Betteridge.
How do you do? I've heard about you, Oberst.
General Key.
You'll notice in this scene we pick up some of the actors you've seen already, now 20 years older. Some are quite new. Some are obviously as stupid as dear Blimp is.
You know.
Intimately.
Colonel Hopwell, aide to the Governor of Gibraltar.
How do you do, my dear fella?
Sir William Rendell on the Viceroy's staff.
How do you do?
George Metcalf of Uganda. Sir John Bembridge, just back from Jamaica.
How do you do, sir?
Colonel Mannering, known to the press as the uncrowned king of Southern Arabia.
I invented all these. Emeric wanted a scene with a few people. I made it into a big dinner party like this and invented all these wonderful names. That's part of my job. But the idea of having people at dinner, that was Emeric.
Thousands of them.
I think you'll find those.
Oh, sorry.
Don't suppose you remember me, but we met in Berlin.
That's the sort of line we worked out with the actors. They were, now that you're here, we've already done the first part of the film. You know, what would you say here? And then we scribble down and shoot it. Emeric already had most of the very good narrative ideas, getting from one period to another. And I supplied all the local color and the dialogue, of course. Naturally, Emeric wouldn't be able to write dialogue that suited all these different English people of different classes.
Very thorough.
Bit too thorough for us.
Was the cooking good?
It was English cooking.
Well, it's got a sense of humor.
My daughter Joyce started a campaign to better the food of the German prisoners.
I remember the government was also charged with overfeeding them.
Oh, we're not too bad. Drink up, Tail.
Gentlemen, your health.
Thank you. Good luck.
I came from a sort of middle-class family, kind of get about. And I had uncles and aunts who were in the Indian civil service, who were here in Africa. And the general attitude of the English before the 1914 war of owning the world I knew how they talked.
I tried to kill Englishmen in this uniform.
He obviously has different views. I'd always read a great deal, particularly I used to read all the magazines before my parents could get at them. So I knew how people talked, in fashionable circles.
So what are we going to do?
I imagine it'll be...
These men are mostly pretty authentic, and most of them I've known in one form or another.
We can become stable boys.
You'll feel differently when you're home again.
Home. But what will the home be like? Another prison camp.
Who says so?
Aren't we going to have foreign troops occupying our cities for years?
For years? I like that.
I've never heard a man more wrong than you are. We don't want to make beggars of you.
And we're a trading nation. We must have countries to trade with.
But surely you realize that the reconstruction of Germany is essential to the peace of Europe.
I can't see our taxpayers keeping an army in your country. Can you, Candy?
No, of course not. Read the papers, men, the English papers. We can't ask you to be our friends.
I thought it was a bit of a talky scene, but it works, doesn't it?
Yeah. We want to be friends.
We want to trade with Germany, said one. The general said, we don't want to keep an army just to occupy your country. A general. Oh, they are children. Boys playing cricket. They win the shirts off our backs and now they want to give them back. Because the game is over.
I always felt this scene was a little bit out of key.
They're already organizing pacifist societies. Their newspapers are anti-military. Wait a moment. Here we can get to something.
Probably a bit too much of a speech, I think. A couple of lines.
Stupidity is a raft for us in a sea of despair.
Yeah, it's the only scene I don't like. It's too long. It tries to say too much, I think. While we were shooting this scene in Denham Studios, a whole delegation of American came on the stage, most of them in uniform. A lot of them were filmmakers who are now in the Army filmmaking unit. And I just looked over my shoulder while I was watching the scene and found William Wyler there, just to my elbow. And he just went to me with his thumbs up sign and then vanished. Gave me quite a turn.
Darling, don't hum.
Was I humming?
Mm-hmm. It's a little habit you've got.
Well, what do I do if I don't hum?
This is one of my favorite scenes. Lovely way to say goodbye to her. Oh dear. This was a real book of, I had an English superannuated general as the military advisor all through the picture. He didn't give a damn about the War Office. General Brownrigg. And this was his album of photographs. So I said, can I photograph it for Blimp's? And he was delighted that I was using his scrapbook.
Theodore Kretschmar Schuder.
Yeah. This way, please. Your registration book and identity card, please. Sit down.
The officer who's reviewing his case, that's A.E. Matthews, quite a famous actor in his day, particularly drawing room comedy, as we used to call it, when there were drawing rooms. Drawing room comedy. And he was known universally, over this side as well, as Matty, A. Matthews. I thought he was typical of the kind of superannuated civil servant who handled this kind of interrogation.
Please, I mean no offense, but
I imagine a good deal of the dialogue here was noted by Emeric in his own examination, of which he had several. Because at the time we made the film, during the whole of the war, he was classified as an enemy alien. And all these great propaganda films were envisaged and written by an enemy alien. Because he was Hungarian-born, Hungarian Jewish, of course. And he'd taken it out of Berlin in 1933. He'd gone to Paris to write films, had a couple made, but he said, I had to leave Paris because I liked it very much, and I liked the producers, but they never pay you. So he decided to come to England. And somebody said to him, I think I did, how did you get into England? Because they were very strict at the time of refugees from Hitler. Emeric said, I discovered that if you have a bank account in England, then they let you in. So I got a friend of mine to open a bank account for me at the bank in Piccadilly Circus. It was all done by hand. He brought me the bank book to show I had an account with £37, 10 shillings in it. And I showed it, and he said, oh, you've got a bank account. Okay, go in. And I said to Emeric, do you still go to the same bank? He said, Michael, I would never change that bank, ever. It's highly inconvenient for me to have my account there, but I couldn't possibly change it. It reads like a Pressburger scene, doesn't it?
You don't mind, sir.
No, go ahead.
In earlier years, the most important principle of my life...
Sound here is very important. If you notice, I gradually take the background sound out until there's no background sound at all, only the speech. And then when he finishes the speech, gradually all the sound comes flooding back again, as if it had been vanished.
The truth about me is that...
And I think it works.
...who came to this country because he's homesick. Oh, please don't stare at me like that, sir. I'm all right in the head. You know that after the war, we had very bad years in Germany. We got poorer and poorer. Every day, retired officers and school teachers were caught shoplifting. Money lost its value. The price of everything rose, except of human beings. We read in the paper...
Imagine this all being said on the screen in the middle of a great war with Germany. You can't blame Churchill, really.
Well, I needn't tell you, sir, that in Germany, the gangsters finally succeeded in putting the honest citizens in jail.
I know Anton nearly had a fit when I told him I was going to shoot it in one shot. And he just leave it to me. You see how the camera moves, not inch by inch, but millimeter by millimeter.
When in summer...
You mustn't be conscious of the movements at all. It's just fine suddenly you're inside the story, not outside.
She died. None of my sons came to her funeral. Heil Hitler. And then in January 35, I had to go to Berlin on a mission for my firm. Driving up in my car, I lost my way on the outskirts of the city, and suddenly, the landscape seemed so familiar to me. And slowly I recognized the road, the lake, and a nursing home where I spent some weeks recovering. Almost 40 years ago. I stopped the car and sat still, remembering. And you see, in this very nursing home, sir, I met my wife for the first time. And I met an Englishman who became my greatest friend. And I remember the people at the station in 19, when we prisoners were sent home, cheering us, treating us like friends. The faces of a party of distinguished men round a table who tried their utmost to comfort me when the defeat of my country seemed to me unbearable. And very foolishly, I remembered the English countryside, the gardens, the green lawns, the weedy rivers and the trees she loved so much. And a great desire came over me to come back to my wife's country. And this, sir, is the truth.
And listen to the background.
Haven't you got anyone in this country who knows you?
I'd quite forgotten how good that Aliens Bureau scene was.
Technical works were offered my services. The police officers at the aliens department.
When you think, to do that in a language which is not your own, I mean, even the breathing is quite different in the two schools of acting. I think Anton did an extraordinary job. Great moment, he takes his hat off.
Dear chap, let's have a good look at you. By God, you've kept your figure better than I have. A bit of a bay window, huh? You see, sir, I wouldn't be surprised if this fellow really disliked us. He comes to England twice in his life. The first time he's a prisoner, and the second time he's just about to be one. May I talk to him, sir? I haven't seen him for 20 years and a bit.
Afraid not here, General. We have many Kretschmar shoot-ups waiting.
Do you mean to say that I've traveled 11 hours from, mustn't say where, and you won't allow me to have a word with the condemned man?
Well, you don't have to go back this minute, do you?
Tomorrow morning, sir, infernally early, too.
Well, that's all right. You can talk to him all day and all night, till midnight. Aliens curfew, you know.
And I can take him with me?
If you say you know him.
Do I know him?
And will stand surety for him.
Great job.
With everything I have, sir.
No, it's time I was going.
The night's young yet.
Don't you remember curfew for aliens?
Oh, yes.
I have to be at home by midnight.
Don't forget, sir, you have to be up at 6 o'clock.
Early parade, eh?
Aye.
How lucky you are, Clive.
Yes, they put me on the retired list in 35, but I knew they'd want me again. Back I went on the active list like a shot. I mean, why don't you stay? I've 18 rooms. Murdoch, rally round.
Thank you, Clive. I'd better not. I would need a special permit anyway.
Yes. All right, Murdoch, as you were. Stay a little longer. I'll send you home by car. Murdoch, tell Miss Cannon to be here by 11:45.
Very good, sir.
Who is Miss Cannon?
Up to this point, I don't think anybody has suspected what is going to come now. You know, the actual physical revelation.
Now the women are fighting beside the men. The children.
I like the way he says that line. Women are fighting beside the men. Gives it just that edge, which it should have.
Would you like to see a picture of her?
Oh, very much.
There are three actors who really are unmatched.
Very much.
You got further with them than I ever
When
got.
you think how young she was.
Dash, you don't tell me you didn't know.
You what?
Wait, you make me blush.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I thought it was written all over my face when I left Berlin in '02.
You forget I never saw your face after you'd left.
I was in love with her. Your wife.
She never told me.
She never knew.
I think she did know, but again, too late.
Oh, Clive, that last day in Berlin when I told you, you seemed genuinely happy.
Dash it, I didn't know then. But on the train, I started to miss her. On the boat, it was worse. And by the time I got back to London, well, I got it properly. My Aunt Margaret got onto the scent straight away. Women have a nose for these sort of things. Besides, I did a stupid thing. First night back, I took out her sister.
Aunt Margaret?
Edith's.
Oh, Martha?
Yes.
What's stupid about that?
Thinking her sister would be like she was?
Like Edith?
Yes.
Well, you got over it?
That's just it. I never got over it. Theo, this may sound a damn silly thing to say to you, but I never got over it. You may say that she was my ideal. If she were some sort of sickening, long-haired poet.
That's typical of Emeric and me. Emeric wrote, "You'd think she was my ideal." And I added, "If you were some sickening, long-haired poet." See? That's the difference.
Englishman could be so romantic.
Same thing with the girl when he says later on, "What's your name?" And she says, "My name is Angela." And he says, "Lovely name comes from angel."
Like Edith.
And I
I'll
added,
show her to you.
"I think it stinks. My friend called me Johnny."
Oh, she's very lovely.
But isn't she like Edith, eh? See the resemblance?
Yes. There's
That's
something-
one of Emeric's best ideas, that he should confront him with a painting in which he quite obviously doesn't recognize the slightest likeness to the wife who died in his arms.
Ah, yes, of course. But she was exactly like her.
The men are awfully good in this.
It's a strange place to hang such a lovely picture.
She wanted it. I call this my den, you know. She always knew I used to come back.
Jan de Hartog, the playwright and writer who loves Colonel Blimp, this is the scene that absolutely doubles him up. He said, when he takes him into that terrible room with all the animals' heads, and she's hung in the middle of the wall. He says, "God Almighty, only a Britain would ever have thought of love like that."
Bye, Clive. Have a nice journey.
Don't worry about anything. Everything's under control.
That was beautifully timed, dissolved. Did you notice that? How before he speaks, as he approaches him, you're dissolving from the interior to the exterior. This is a studio scene.
The door, sir, please.
Did you see the warden?
I'm the warden of this district, sir.
Oh, it must be very difficult to drive in the blackout.
It's not as bad as it looks, sir.
I suppose you've done a lot of night driving.
No, sir. I never drove before the war.
It was a very tricky piece of lighting to
Not at night.
get over the character of the girl without showing too much her face.
He's one of the Bentley boys.
People who are paying attention, of course, get it at once. But the average audience, after 2 hours, needs a little more time. It's also very difficult to photograph in the blackout, because you have to somehow see the people by tricks and hidden lights. At the same time, they're supposed to be in total blackness. We had long arguments about the lighting of the girl, particularly with Perinal, who was so delicate in his lighting.
Sorry, sir. Couldn't make it.
You like being the general's driver?
Of course, who wouldn't? He's such an old darling. I could have done a handstand when he asked for me. Do you know, he chose me out of 700 girls, sir. Some odds, isn't it? 700 to 1.
And there comes the theme again.
Come on, that'll be all night. That's what causes accidents.
You can always get me crying with that theme.
Long odds, weren't they, sir?
I beg your pardon.
See, now we can recognize Deborah
Makes me a bit of an outsider.
as the third woman in his life.
What is your first name, Miss Cannon?
Angela.
It's a lovely name. Comes from angel, doesn't it?
I think it stinks. My friends call me Johnny. Is it this crossing or the next, sir?
Oh, this will do, yeah? Good night, Angela.
Good night, sir.
I'd like to see your boyfriend one of these days.
Me too. Good night, sir.
Oh, this is the BBC scene. He's going to give a broadcast. This was based on an actual happening when some high-up arrived to give his broadcast and found that Churchill had already cancelled it.
Whisker inside the studio. You are out.
Thank you, sir.
This way, General.
Thank you.
General Wincandy.
These two are very famous vaudeville actors. You can tell that from the timings, split-second cues.
Broadcast start precisely.
Well, almost at once, sir.
21:20, sir.
Plenty of time.
Excuse me, mister.
Oh, shut up.
This is based on the real BBC Underground in the War, but scaled down, of course.
Do you like working here?
Oh, very much. You meet such interesting people.
You can tell that from the programs.
General Wincandy.
Of course, this is all meant to be a stand-up.
I don't think I've met you, sir.
No, I'm afraid I've not had that pleasure. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Very slightly. Can't stand up the BBC too much.
Yes, we have to be deep these days.
I quite agree. Back to the Stone Age, what? I don't think I'll like this at the moment, if you don't mind. Bad for speaking. Makes my throat dry.
General, I'm afraid we've been having a little trouble about your...
This actor is a beautiful actor.
I'm a soldier.
Yes, the authorities think that it's a little ill-timed and might be better postponed.
Think it's a little ill-timed?
And this trick he's got was quite deliberate, of dropping cigarette ash on his knee and brushing it off absent-mindedly also. Typical inventive actor's idea. He carries it out beautifully.
Describe in this broadcast my views on the cause of the retreat and its aspects.
All these little movements and nervous tics all help to make the scene go.
What?
A lawyer.
A lawyer? Well, I was a soldier. And before that, I suppose you were at college, and I was a soldier. And I was a soldier when you were a baby. And before you were born, sir, when you were nothing but a toss-up between a girl's and a boy's name, I was a soldier then.
That's an example where Emeric would have to come to me for help on the final line, when you were nothing but a toss-up between a girl's and a boy's name. I forget the way he'd put it, but he knew it wasn't quite right. He came to me and said, what do you suggest?
Malta this morning had its 25th air raid since Italy entered the war last Monday. It's not known if there was any damage or casualties.
Cigarettes, soldier.
In yesterday's raids, 1 civilian was killed and 8 were wounded. That brings us to the end of the news and to tonight's postscript, which is given by Mr. J.B. Priestley.
What on earth can have happened? Murdoch, do you think he's had an accident?
How can I think, miss? I was expecting it.
Why?
I've read his speech.
J.B. Priestley was a very popular, important broadcaster in the war, but rather pompous. So when they turned him off, John Laurie said, "May I turn off J.B. Priestley?"
No, the General mustn't find me here.
Let me handle it.
Oh, no fear. You let me out of here.
In this picture, I never get the sensation that Deborah is ever acting. She is all three women, and they're all three quite different.
I'm very sorry, sir.
Why?
I shouldn't be here.
I asked Miss Cannon to come in. She was anxious to hear your broadcast.
Cancelled at the last minute. Pity we hurried as we did, Angela. We didn't leave the War Office till 5:20 to 9.
There's a War Office letter for you there, sir. It came this afternoon.
Paul Reno has resigned. Pétain is Prime Minister.
Bad news.
What? Oh, yes, bad news.
Sherry, sir.
Yes.
Sherry, miss? Sherry, Mr. Sir?
Yes, miss.
So sweet, Emeric's, feeling that the old boy needed the young girl there, to help bolster up his spirits. He's so right.
How is your fiancé?
There's usually much more in Emeric's lines than you guess when you read them.
He's getting a commission.
Oh, congratulations.
I always work very closely with the actor. I never have anything all worked out. I'd come in the morning, all the crew would be there and everything, and say, well, let's rough it out. The actors would always be there in costume, with props, but not necessarily made up. It wasn't important. The thing was to know what the first shot would be. And I usually planned something fairly complicated for the first shot to give the actors time to complete their makeup. And so I would come in and say, okay, let's go. I've been thinking about this scene. I suggest that, instead of coming through the door, he comes through the window. We do this as he meets the girl. They pass each other and they look on. Various ideas. And the actors would listen and say, that sounds all right. What about doing this, Vicky? And I feel I would speak as soon as I came in and saw the girl. I wouldn't wait. Okay, let's try that. That meant the microphone had to be over there, not here. And then we had it usually roughed out by about 9:30, half an hour or so. But anyway, by that time the camera were getting rested because while they're watching the rehearsal, the lighting cameraman is saying, pointing one way, so as not to interrupt the rehearsal. He points out to the chief electrician he wants a big electrical brute moved over there. Key light was all wrong. It's got to be moved. Anyway, by about 9:30, the cameraman would say to me, okay, Mickey, you've had quite enough time now. Let me light it. And then we'd go on from there. Then I would start rehearsing lines or running lines with the other actors.
And that you'd sooner accept defeat than victory if it could only be won by those methods.
So I would.
Clive, if you let yourself be defeated by them just because you are too fair to hit back the same way they hit at you,
There won't be any method.
Imagine how wonderful this must have been for a German actor in the middle of the war, you know, to be able to say these things on all the screens of the world.
They laugh at you. They think you're weak, decadent.
Emeric knew, you see, that only a German can say this and make it hurt. If an Englishman says it, what does it mean?
I don't think you won it.
That's one of the great differences between our kind of propaganda and the usual bloody German propaganda.
Because victory was yours, you failed to learn your lesson 20 years ago. And now you have to pay the school fees again. Some of you will learn quicker than the others.
You see, it must be a German who says this.
Because you've been educated to be a gentleman and a sportsman in peace and in war. But Clive, dear old Clive, this is not a gentleman's war. This time you are fighting for your very existence against the most devilish idea ever created by a human brain. Nazism. And if you lose, there won't be a return match next year. Perhaps not even for 100 years.
The audiences never applauded this scene. They were dead silent.
You mustn't mind me, an alien, saying all this. But who can describe hydrophobia better than one who's been bitten and is now immune?
Well, you see, Angela, even one's best friend lets one down.
I don't think so, sir.
You too, eh? Kick a fellow when he's down, what?
Nobody would ever kick you, sir. You just got to change over, that's all.
Change over to what?
Well, a new job. It's easy enough for a man.
Think so, eh? Swap horses in midstream.
A lot of people have had to do it in this war, sir. It's better than drowning.
Bravo, Angela. I shall call you John in future. She's hit the nail on the head. I don't know you. You shouldn't give up so easily, my boy. Is this the same man who took Berlin by storm 40 years ago? Look at me. Nobody wants me, but do I give up?
Nobody wants you, and you're an expert. I don't know anything but soldiering. Not even that, apparently.
What about the Home Guards, sir? They need leaders. They're just becoming an army. If we're invaded, they're our first defense. The papers say so.
There you are. You know everybody. You could get them arms and instructors and equipment. Oh, what a job. Forming a new army.
Home Guard, eh?
Yes, sir. I was going to tell you myself, sir.
You're drunk, Murdoch. Tell me what?
That I joined the Home Guard, sir.
You?
Yes, sir. Anything wrong with the soup, sir?
Beautiful.
Everybody know if they haven't touched it. Take it away, Lance Corporal Murdoch.
Sergeant Murdoch, sir. What have you been doing, sir, all this time?
Emeric never misses a laugh on this.
But watch now.
It's a raid in the Ritz. Destroys Colonel Blimp's house and kills Murdoch. So now he has only the club to live in. And that's all that remains of the house. And the heads of all the animals. Do you remember? That's quite a good match shot.
Hi, missus. 2 basins for me and me old China. Oh! Get your skates on.
See this Major General Clive Wynne Candy?
Blimey, what a moniker. Fill it
They
up.
moved to Royal Bathers Club, Piccadilly.
Should think he needed a bath after this lot. Good luck to the old bastard.
Still here?
Just going to.
Don't be late.
I won't, sir.
My gad, what's that?
A gun, sir. Brother's a gamekeeper.
That's the ticket. Load with number 4. We'll soon have rifles, Tommy guns, too. Know which end is which?
Oh, yes, sir.
That's right. Break it up, chaps.
This is at Marble Arch in London, shot on location. I don't think you see the arch. The park's just around the corner. Crossing Berkeley Square. They're going down St. James's Street now, heading for Whitehall.
A real army, eh? The men are all right, keen as mustard. Organization, general staff, offices, general headquarters. That's what we want, and by gad, we'll get them.
See Angela's smile.
You hear, Angela?
Yes, sir.
Give me 1 year, 6 months. I'll show him.
It's very sweet the way he treats her as a confidant. Picture Post was the famous magazine during the war. It was edited by Tom Hopkinson, very good writer and a very good journalist. The magazine did absolute wonders during the war. For some reason or other, it was closed down at the end of the war. I suppose the usual reason. Quite outstanding in its reportage. Tom Hopkinson. He took ideas from all over the world, but the point is he did it, and everybody else was talking about it. And a Natural Illustrated magazine with up-to-date pictures that were shot the week before was something quite new and very necessary. We needed it in London. That's the same office building at Marble Arch. This time, you see more of it, that's all.
Point to the throat, my boy.
Did you get his line? Point to the throat.
Gentlemen?
I just want to point out that around this point of the film, the American version, which is 115 minutes, has been so edited and so restructured that it's almost impossible to tell you where the sequence that you saw at the beginning of this version begins in the American version. It's very, very difficult. And what I cull from Powell's films and Powell Pressburger, besides the obsessive nature of my relationship to them, which is unaccountable, I don't know what that is. In the beginning, I collected the posters, I collected any photograph of them. Now I finally got the films. And it isn't a matter of saying, well, gee, I wish I could have made the film. No, that's not the case, because if I could have made it, I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But as far as my culling from Michael's editing and camera movement and that sort of thing, I think a lot has come down through the use of the films I made in actors' movements, in use of slow motion. For example, Taxi Driver, De Niro's close-up of his eyes shifting back and forth came from Robert Helpman's movements in Tales of Hoffman, which is ballet. I don't know anything about ballet. I mean, I come from a different area, a different lifestyle completely. But somehow, when he did it, it wasn't really ballet, it was film. It was something else entirely. He combined dance, he combined music, he combined film all together into something completely new.
Do you remember what you told me last night, amongst other things?
Yes, I do, and I wish I hadn't told you now.
This is James McKechnie, who was a very well-known BBC actor. He played all the big parts on the BBC. Very good young actor, and he'd never been on the stage, and he'd never made a film before. But there was nobody available at that time about his age and his guts, sheer guts he's got, drive, speaks very well. And he was about the only man available then. Everybody else was in the Army, Navy, or the Air Force. At one time, James Mason, if you can imagine James Mason young, was going to play this part. And we had to postpone and he couldn't. And so I had to find somebody who could handle the role. He was very upset when I got hold of James McKechnie. He said, "Oh, I hate missing the part, and I hate the fact that he's such a good actor. He's better than me."
He's dead! Oh, Mr. Marshall!
Spud! Spud! Come on, Spud. What happened?
She got me. Who? Not a hurry. Come on, quick.
Oh, no. Well, any luck?
Not a hope. She's halfway to London by now. She's gone to warn the wizard. Come on, get my tin hat. Get after her, quick.
Hi! Who's going to bring the key?
The sergeant's men.
Oh!
Huh?
Yes. Oh! Mr. Marshall!
This actually was in Berkeley Square. Or would it be Berkeley?
Really, miss, it's quite
We'll get him
impossible.
on the phone then.
But, miss, this is...
Go on, man.
Very good.
Come on, section.
Head porter speaking.
The three. Yes, sir.
His driver wishes to speak to General Wincandy. Yes, it's about...
General Wincandy in the club?
No, sir. The General left an hour ago with Brigadier General Caldecott near Vice Marshal Lloyd Hughes.
Did he say where he was going?
Excuse me, sir, but what is your business with the General?
I have a message for him, an urgent message.
You give me the message, I'll see the General gets it.
Damn it all, man. Are you a home guard?
Why, sir?
The password is Vertigo 1911.
Typical of Blimp, a good champagne. 1911, good year.
Yes, well, answer the phone. You're a prisoner.
The war doesn't start till midnight.
That's what you think. Sergeant, that girl under there, she's a prisoner too. Corporal, we three men remain.
All right, boys, this is it. Brute force and ruddy ignorance.
Come on, okay.
Hello? Hello? We're warning them. Warn him, can't you understand English? Tell him to hide.
Gentlemen, the war will soon be over. We agree it's very fine to win the last battle. We much prefer to win the first. You will be kept prisoner in this building till 6 a.m.
That's the big plane trees in that recent storm we had. Remember that terrible sort of cyclone that hit England a month or two ago? It brought down 2 of these great plane trees in Berkeley Square.
It's all right, sir. He's still there.
Hello, Clive.
Hello, Dale. I'm glad you've come. I couldn't have stood anybody else.
Oh, that's all right.
You've heard, I suppose?
Yes. Johnny told me.
And?
Well, I think it is a dirty trick, but I can't help finding it a bit funny, too.
It is. That's the worst of it.
What do you think is going to happen now?
Officially, this young fellow would be brought up before a court of inquiry and the exercise repeated some other time.
Will there be an inquiry, sir?
No, there won't. I'll see to that. Where is he now?
Well, Spud, sir? Oh, he's with his men. They're marching into London.
Did you see them?
Yes, we saw them coming when we came across the Cromwell Road. The whole army with bands.
How did they look, eh?
Well, Clive, I must say
Oh, they looked okay.
Cleaned up my place rather nicely.
Oh, they built an emergency water tank there too, sir.
They often turn the site of a bomb building into a water tank, you see. Quite big, the whole area of the house, 8 feet deep. Very useful for sudden fire.
I've been thinking this over all night. I don't want to get this young fella into trouble. I think I'll invite him to dinner instead. Wasn't I just as much of a young fool as he is? Of course I was.
Yes. But I wonder if he's going to...
See, that's full circle to that little scene I told you about. The scene in one of our aircraft is missing. And the old rear gunner says to the young pilot, "You're going to be like me when I was young."
Gave me the worst rigging I ever had. And then he invited me to dinner. I didn't accept. Often wish I had. Yes, I think I will invite him to dinner, and he'd better accept, you hear?
Yes, sir. Here they come.
Deborah never plays for sentiment. And Roger's just...
I always found this extremely poignant, the missing house, and the whole film, the whole concept of passage of time, and the idea of not fighting a war with good manners.
Now, here is the lake, and I still haven't changed.
Of course, he has changed. That's what the death of Colonel Blimp is all about, sort of a rebirth at this point.
Literal-minded people always say, but he's not dead. I just, not being literal-minded, I just give a tired look. Colonel Blimp is dead. And the title has more of a swing of his life and death.